Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson. Today we will be looking at Hamlet Act 4, Scene 1 and 2. This will include the summary of the scenes as well as a look at the characters of Gertrude and Claudius. We will also be discussing what we can learn about Hamlet from his murder of Polonius and his actions immediately after that. In the description, I have linked a quiz for these two scenes that you can attempt in order to gauge how well you are understanding the content. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can be notified every time I upload a new lesson. Act 4, Scene 1. Frantic after her confrontation with Hamlet, Gertrude hurries to Claudius, who is conferring with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. She asks to speak to the king alone. When Rosencrantz and Guildenstern exit, she tells Claudius about her encounter with Hamlet. She says that Hamlet is as mad as the sea during a violent storm. She also tells Claudius that Hamlet has killed Polonius. Aghast, the king notes that had he been concealed behind the arras, Hamlet would have killed him. Claudius wonders aloud how he will be able to handle this public crisis without damaging his hold on Denmark. He tells Gertrude that they must ship Hamlet to England at once and find a way to explain Hamlet's misdeed to the court and to the people. Claudius then calls Rosencrantz and Guildenstern and tells them about the murder and sends them to find Hamlet. This scene indicates to us that Gertrude is able to manipulate her emotions. In the previous scene, she was very erratic and emotional when speaking to Hamlet, and now that she is speaking to Claudius, she is more controlled. This scene also centers around Gertrude's betrayal of her son, turning him in to the king after having promised to help him. While she does keep her promise to not reveal that Hamlet was only pretending to be insane, the immediate and frank way in which she tells Claudius about Hamlet's behavior and his murder of Polonius implies that she sees herself as allied to the king rather than to her son. Whether Gertrude really believes Hamlet to be mad or has simply recognized that her best interest lies in allying herself with Claudius, regardless of what she believes, is impossible to determine from the scene and is largely a matter of one's personal interpretation of the events. It is Gertrude's speech to Claudius that cements the king's secret plan to have Hamlet executed in England, that the corpse has been safely stowed. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern appear and ask what has been done with the body. Hamlet refuses to give them a straight answer, instead saying, "The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body." Pretending that he is offended at being questioned, he accuses them of being spies in the service of King Claudius. Hamlet calls Rosencrantz a sponge that soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities, and warns him that when he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and, sponge, you will be dry again. They indicate to him that he needs to report with them to the king. Hamlet pretends to run away from them, but eventually he agrees to allow Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to escort him to Claudius. These two scenes show us that Claudius is a selfish, ambitious king who is more concerned with maintaining his own power and averting political danger than achieving justice through his rule. His response to Gertrude's revelation that Hamlet has killed Polonius is extremely telling. Rather than considering that Gertrude might have been in danger, he immediately remarks that had he been in the room, he would have been in danger. Claudius also remarks that Hamlet should be sent away to England, not as a punishment for committing murder, but because he represents a danger to Claudius. As soon as he hears of the murder, Claudius's mind begins working to find a way to characterize the killing so that it does not seem like a political crisis to his court and to the people of Denmark. To do this, he says, will require all his majesty and skill. In this scene and the scenes to follow, Shakespeare creates in Claudius a convincing depiction of conniving, ambitious politicians. In this way, Claudius emerges as a figure of powerful contrast to the more forthright men in the play. Hamlet's murder of Polonius at the end of Act 3 is one of the most disturbing moments in the play. If it was previously possible to consider Hamlet a hero or an idealized version of a human being, it is no longer possible after he kills Polonius. His sensitive, reflective nature, the trait that constantly interfered with his ability to take revenge on Claudius, now disappears in the wake of its violent opposite, a rash, murderous explosion of activity. In this act, we notice that Hamlet hides the body, but rather than being overwhelmed, as we might expect a hero who has committed a terrible mistake, he seems manic, desperate, and self-righteous, especially in his condemnation of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Throughout Act 4, Scene 2, similarly to the play within a play scene, Hamlet's biting, ironic wit is combined with his rash, impulsive streak, and his feigned madness seems very close to the real thing. Though Hamlet has many admirable qualities, scenes such as this one serve as powerful reminders that we are not meant to take the prince as an unqualified hero. If you found today's lesson useful, please give this video a like down below. Don't forget to try out the quiz and subscribe to this channel.